Hi guys, Menchi here, and today I'm going to show you a track in a deep house style, but not the usual deep house track, because I made it using only synths and plugins from FL Studio. I didn't use Serum, I didn't use FAB filter, I didn't use Kickstart, etc. I just used all the plugins from FL Studio 21, and let me show you the track first, and I'm going to explain all the process I'm using this track.
Just set me free from all that ache. Your bitter words is all I take. Just set me free, don't break me more than you did before. Now I'm holding on to you till you let me go for good. I'm waiting on your move so I can find out it's true. I was giving you one more shot, was known to mess it up. Never rose around the blaze or caught it up. I never learned to get your love enough. Just set me free from all that ache. Your bitter words is all I take. Just set me free, don't break me more than you did before. Now
Okay, something like that. It's a quite simple deep house track, but sounds, I think, quite cool. Why not? And let me show what I used in this track. I used this kick, and I used simple fruity compressor. By the way, I'm using this compressor in a lot of my tracks. It sounds quite cool. Then we have this loop. It's something like a deep house loop. I used equalizer here. Also I used compressor to make it a bit loud, and I used a filter to make this automation here. Yeah, and then we have the bass line. This is the sub bass. I use the standard preset sub bass 2 in this Citrus synth. I used some goodizer. I used equalizer to cut mid and high frequencies. Also, I used a limiter to make a sidechain. As you know, I'm using Kickstart for this for sidechain, but here I didn't want to use a third-party plugins, and I decided to use only FL Studio plugins. And then you see I used a sidechain from the kick. I used insert 10 for the kick, and as you see, I made it a sidechain, something like a send channels for these channels, second, third, etc. And I use limiter to make this effect. Yeah. And we have mid bass. It consists three layers. I used flex, I used toxic biohazard, and I used this sim synth. Let me show you how it sounds. And let me show you how all of these synths sound separately. It's a flex, it's a toxic biohazard. Here I used equalizer. Of course, I made a separation of the basses. Sub bass has more low frequencies, mid bass has mid and high frequencies. Also, I used some goodizer to make it more warm and fat. Also, I use fuzz disc to make it more loud and make it more consistent. Of course, sidechain, I used the limiter, and I used the compressor to make it more louder, and it sounds like that. I think it sounds quite cool. Okay, we have something like a muted guitar here. And I made an automation for this cutoff parameter. I think it really sounds cool. We have here fourth channel. I used equalizer, some goodizer, and of course I used sidechain. Then we have a lead. Lead also consists of 3 layers. It's a flex, this is also flex, and here I used this simple Fruity DX10 at FM synth. It's quite simple to make this plug sound. We have here equalizer, sound goodizer, delay, reverb, and of course sidechain. Let me show you something like that. Delay, reverb to make it more atmosphere. Yeah, and some goodies to make it more fat. Then we have Riz bass. It's also flex. Here is the notes. Then we have Rhodes. Sounds really cool Rhodes from the basic FL Studio synthesizer. It sounds really cool. Also we have pad. It's also citrus. I think sounds really cool. And we have on the 6th channel just equalizer and sidechain. Then we have this small plug, something like that, also flex. And here I use some simple FXs, just reverse crash and crash, and we have vocals.
Just tell me all the noise.
I use 5th channel for the vocals, and here we have just equalizer and sidechain. That's it for this track. It sounds quite simple, but sounds really cool. I like it. I didn't use before this default and basic synthesizers, and I decided to make this track using all of basic and default stuff here, and really I like the result. What do you think, guys? Please write down in the comments what do you think about this track. And I'll upload this track to my Patreon page. You can see how it works in your project, but basically you can see how I made it just on the screen, and I think you don't need to download it. You can create it by your own in these default synthesizers. Okay, something like that. What do you think, guys? As you said, write down in the comments. Menchi was here. Bye bye.